Hi, everyone. Good afternoon or good morning, wherever you are. Thanks for joining us in today's Vendasta webinar. Today we have Trumpia, and they'll be talking all about automated texting and how to, use that for maximum reach and results. So we have Ken Rhie, CEO of Trumpia, joining us today, and together with him, Andrew and Blair as well. So we can begin. Ken, take it away.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. This is right during your lunch hour in the East Coast, and as bright as early as it is in the West Coast. I really do appreciate this. I'm going to make sure it's worthwhile your time in terms of what you get out of this. Now, technically speaking, Trumpia is probably the most honestly, of course, everybody says that, but honestly, the most complete texting solution in the market. But it's really, really easy to get in, whether it's pricing, or the way you set up and getting up and running. It's really, really easy to get in. We'll talk more about that later on. But the other thing is rare, and that is it's hard to outgrow. Many of my competitors are easy to get in, maybe even slightly easier to get in terms of price. But you end up outgrowing it really, really quickly. And that's why most people end up buying this Black Friday special on, 55-inch TV, and then by next Black Friday, you end up upgrading because you sort of outgrow your needs. And that's what I've ended up doing. I have 5 TVs at my home, by the way, and I just bought one that gets delivered tomorrow. But we want to make sure that Trumpia is not that easy to outgrow, but it's really easy to get in. But really want to make sure that our clients can stay in it, grow forever. That's what makes our system very complete. A little bit of background of who Trumpia is. We are based out of Anaheim, California, Southern California, right next to Disneyland. We have about 80 employees and growing. We are probably known in the circle of this texting business, which is not a huge industry, but it's a growing industry. We only as the premier texting provider that created many innovations. In fact, when I look at my competitor website, many of them end up copying our verbiage. I created a lot of verbiage because we had to create them for the first time. And it just became industry terms in many cases. But they copied our positioning, they copied our feature, but I wouldn't say they necessarily copied the capability. And we'll show some of those issues. We have thousands of well-known customers. Of course, we have a lot of small customers as well. We're not the cheapest in the market, but I don't think you as a partner want to sell the cheapest software either, because you get percentage of the value of the service we offer. Texting is very old, 27 years old by now. December, I think it was born 27 years ago in December. But so basically the technology is really, really nothing new. But what makes it really, really new and different is the fact that finally the business community has adopted texting. And it's for the same exact reasons that consumers have adopted it. You probably use a texting personally because people will read your text messages. Read rate somewhere between 95%, 98%. Awesome. I mean, you wonder if your email would ever get read by anybody. Maybe at best 20% of the time, especially if it's something to do with business, but or even personal. A lot of the email goes into the junk folder. But texting is like you send it, they read it. Not only they read it within 90 seconds. Not only they read it within 90 seconds, they're going to respond to you half of the time. And if you think about the awesome power of that platform, why not use it for business? I mean, you could convert. You could shorten your sales cycle by half. You could convert customers more. Not only that, you could keep your customers very happy because you're very responsive. And that's why America, or in Canada, they have decided to use texting for business. And that's what's new about this texting technology, although it's a very old technology. In fact, the North American texting technology is very outdated compared to other countries in Asia and Europe. But does that mean we're going to forget about email? Of course not. I mean, even today, we still get postal mail deliveries at the curb. I don't even check my postal delivery for entire month. I go there, open up, and then 90% of it is junk mail, as you know. But we still need it. There are certain roles that postal mail serves, and that doesn't mean you're going to get mad at postal mail every day because you got 90% junk. Well, email's turning out to be that. Well, I don't actually, unfortunately, get to read emails very quickly, but it's got its purpose. It's a knowledge base. I go back and look at the history, all of that. I look at big emails with the pictures and all the millions of links and all of the paragraphs. So email has its place, no question about it. It will not go away anytime soon, just like a postal mail delivery. However, what research have discovered is that when you combine the power of multi-channel communication, especially email and texting, maybe voice, maybe social media, overall effectiveness of your marketing communication or any business communication skyrockets. They all agree that they need to use and people need to receive multi-channel communication. So although I'm positioning Trumpia as the texting platform to get in, bear in mind that it's within the context of it's the first step to take to truly integrated multi-channel communications. And we'll get more of that. So let's talk about a little bit of use cases. There are many use cases. Texting is very horizontal. I mean, you would use texting for your personal purpose with any relationship. Same thing with texting for business. Now, for example, we have a very large client called Schools First. They dominate the credit union market in Southern California and Arizona area. They use it. You've seen something similar. You got credit card alerts. Hey, did you buy this $200 gin in Las Vegas? I actually received that message myself. I said no, and they took care of it. They're not going to charge that on my credit card statement. Or, oh, your account is running low balance. Or, oh, let me authenticate you before we let you in. It looks like your IP address is different. Can you type in this 6-digit code into the screen? So you've seen many of them. So texting is used very heavily for security and a security purpose for financial institutions. Let me give you an example of a higher education. University of Wisconsin have adopted our system, not for texting. Yeah, texting helps, teenagers don't read email. Are you kidding? They'll never read posters either. So they use texting, but not just to blast massive text messages because it becomes spam. They wanted to use our automated capability to be able to create a drip relationship, create a nurturing relationship. Now, if a school like University of Wisconsin in the entire state accepts 20,000 students every year, imagine the kind of nurturing and answering counseling you need for these young kids who don't know anything. And they just found independence from their parents. Bear in mind, your kids are in one of those categories right now. They got complete freedom away from parents. They sound sorry on the phone. You're going to send them money too. Hey, it's an awesome environment. So the school has a real big challenge of how do you nurture these kids, teach them, guide them to the right course, right major, right financial aid, all of that. A lot of it's care, individual care, and sorting and matching. That's what our system does. Now you get to see the power of some of the automation and what we call smart targeting, but you can't do that just because you want to send text message to 20,000 students every week. You can't do that. You got to make this relational and highly targeted and very, very meaningful. Otherwise it becomes a spam. And that's what University of Wisconsin is doing because of power of automation, not necessarily because of mass texting. Hospitality industry is another good example. Hilton, for example, used our system to actually, not for texting itself, but to promote mobile app. One of the difficulties in promoting mobile app is people have to remember to go to website, find the right page and click the very long URL so that they will download. Or go to Google Play, by the time you go to App Store, you forgot what to search for because you saw something about Hilton app somewhere and I forgot because I didn't do it right away at the spot. Well, it so turns out that texting is very dynamic and then right there at the moment. So in case of Hilton, when people check in the front counter will probably say, you know what? Hey, if you get a mobile app, you're gonna get a lot of benefits and points and whatnot. So why don't you text Hilton to 12345 right now, and then you could download it right away. And they don't have to remember anything. They don't have to, remember to click a particular link on the website. So that's what Hilton is using. But imagine Hilton can use it for many other purposes. For example, there's another hotel chain that Omni Hotel. About 5 years ago, when there was a big police shootout, remember that 5 years ago? Behind the pillar, they were shooting at this guy was shooting at police, and they shot back. Well, actually, the Omni Hotel was 1 block away from that scene, and the hotel was it's just nobody had that kind of experience back then. So hotel decided to use our service to instantaneously communicate with every employee, give every update 15 minutes, and tell them what to do and what not to do, because shooting's going on right outside. That was another emergency employee communication, and you can't do that. You can't do that with an app. Now people have to figure out what to download. Are you kidding? But you could send text message to everybody, because there's no phone anywhere without a SMS app on it already installed. So it's an easy way for organization to instantaneously send updates. And to a lesser extent, the same applies in Washington, D.C. Maybe there's a snow out there. Maybe the service is suspended. Maybe there's the problem on the boulevard. It could be all kinds of emergency. Maybe there's a COVID outbreak at the work today, and you have 200 employees coming to the warehouse. Hey, you want to stop them from coming to work and wait for the further instruction. So the employee communication is a big deal these days, especially during COVID. Restaurants, appointment reminders. At a higher end restaurant, of course, you don't get a reservation at In-N-Out Burger. I guess you don't have In-N-Out Burger in the East Coast. You're missing a big thing. But Wendy's, McDonald's, you don't have reservations. But at a decent restaurant, you really want to remind people to show up on time, because otherwise you're wasting a table. Or maybe you send out a new menu. Maybe you send out a coupon. Maybe you send out a happy birthday. Hey, bring your partner over, your meal's free. Retail. Kroger is one of the use cases I have here. And they decided on December 1st, hey, we only have 21 days up to Christmas. Hey, what can we do? We have some leftover budget. If I don't use it, I lose it. So they actually spent quite a bit of money, and then we instantaneously turned on the campaign, because our system is turnkey. You don't have to program anything. You don't have to set up anything. So we turned on their system overnight. And for 21 days, based on a campaign called 21 Days to Christmas, they literally offered special promotion to something that you need for Christmas Day. And obviously, initially, we don't know what these people are, so therefore you cannot target anything. Over time, our system will learn gradually what is appropriate and what is not appropriate. So you start sending more intelligent, targeted messages. So they ended up signing up. Guess what? Kroger is a national chain. They even own Ralph's. They signed up 440,000 mobile subscribers. We're not talking email addresses. We're talking phone numbers. So imagine if you're a marketing consultant, your business consultant to your client, imagine what is the lifetime value, net present value of their relationship with 440,000 people who's going to read the messages within minutes. They're actually going to read the message, 440,000 of them. And if you send targeted message, if you were to run that grocery chain, how much is that texting program worth to you? Now, I don't know about you. A typical family in Midwest would probably go to the same grocery every week, and they'll probably spend thousands of dollars throughout the year. If you were to do the math on lifetime value of a loyal grocery customer relationship, it means a lot of money. And you could turbocharge that relationship with texting relationship, as long as you don't spam. Remember, the key is... Okay, I'm sorry? Oh, okay, I thought there was a question. Okay, let me move on. During COVID, State of New Jersey hired us to integrate into their COVID management system. So now State of New Jersey, COVID alerts go out through our system. State of New York next door decided to use our system to alert drivers' license renewal or license plate renewal, because some people forget to renew their driver's license. I personally know somebody in my family who did not renew driver's license for 20 years. I'm glad she didn't get caught. But people do need to be reminded about renewing driver's license. So New York State uses that. HR applications are another very new trend. For example, not necessarily for white collar workers, but for manufacturing, a warehouse kind of environment, less than bluish kind of environment. People are not tied to their computer at work. They walk around, they're in the assembly line, they drive trucks. They are not really in an environment where they could see the Microsoft Team chat, Skype chat, whatever. They're not really in front of a computer where they could check emails really quickly. So in that environment, alerting and engaging with employees is extremely difficult. And most of the time, they don't even read benefits, policy changes, alerts, what they need to do. Next Friday's deadline for this. They don't even know that, and they're going to use that as an excuse. I don't know. Nobody told me, I have to do this by Friday. So that's one of the headaches in HR department. So using texting in an HR environment, especially employee communications, is really getting popular, especially during COVID. You need to alert a lot of people about the latest update on COVID. Show up, don't show up. Here's the rule changes on COVID. Hey, the county is locked down this week. Be careful about these things. So human resources is a big deal. The other human resource application is recruiting. You could imagine how many candidates you receive, and you have to source through the qualifications and all of that. That's why you need an HR department, especially recruiting. Well, that's very, very time consuming. And because people are doing it by hand, it's very slow. Now, I'll show you how some of the automation technology can change all of that. So recruiting is a very, very popular new use cases. And likewise, the general employee updates. Now, I've only shown you maybe 7 or 8 different industries. That doesn't mean texting is only good for those. Any industry has these kind of functions, one way or the other, unless you're a very, very small one-man show. Now, you have an HR function, you have a customer service function in any industry, IT function of some sort. Well, hopefully they use you as an IT outsourcing, but sales and marketing function, okay? So even if I have not spoken about any of the industries that you are dealing with right now with your client base, well, they all have some sort of HR function, employee communications, very, very important. Maybe even recruiting is useful in your particular client's case. Maybe not, maybe it is. Customer service, imagine this. I hate calling my telecom company. When I call AT&T or Verizon, are you kidding? They put me on hold. They transfer me at least 3 times. If they don't trust me at all, it's a great day for me. But they transfer me, of course, when they transfer me, they have to ask your mother's maiden name all over again, or last 4 digits of social security number. I'll never forget that in my lifetime because they ask me all the time. How can I forget my last 4 digits of social security number? Well, imagine, if you have a problem, especially problem is not complex, something simple, why can't I just text to my vendor and they have my phone number, it's registered in my profile. They will know immediately who I am. I don't have to authenticate and remember my social security number and my mother's, maiden name. And I just say within 130 characters what my problem is. And they'll reply back in time. I don't have to stay on the phone for 10 minutes. There was one time I wanted to challenge this. On a bad day, I called AT&T for my problem. I was physically on the phone for 2 hours with the jazz music that got repeated about 1 million times. It's not kind of my genre of music, but I was forced to listen to it on the speakerphone. I just wanted to find out how long it takes that before anybody talks to me. It literally took two hours. Well, nobody does that stupid thing. But you all know what I'm talking about. Why can't I just send a text message to AT&T and say, I have this problem, fix the billing problem, and get back to me, and I go about my own meeting? That means I could even do this while I'm talking to my CEO. See, I'm get bored in a meeting. Why don't I just send my the customer service problem to any of my vendors and worry about it until I go home? So customer service is one big area where texting is very productive for not only customers, but also for businesses. IT, not every company has an IT department, they outsource it or they're too small, but decent sized companies have IT department. You know, when there's an outage, when there's a snow problem and then telecom is having problem or the network is having problem, you know, everybody in the world is going to start knocking on your cubicle, or they'll send you the message, instant messages. They'll send you millions of emails and you're tired of deleting them. They're all asking the same thing. Hey, are we there yet? Did you fix my problem? So it's very simple application in this case. Hey, network outages, IP help desk, triage them automatically. Just like when you make a phone call, do this for one, do this for that. Why can't you do that on texting? And I don't want to go onto the phone. I don't want to bother this guy. So IT is IT outages and issues there. Maybe remind everybody to change their password every 3 months. Whatever that is a good application. Sales and marketing is a big deal. I have customers. I mean, one customer that I gave you example on, literally subscribed 440,000 customers. You got to be kidding. That's worth millions of dollars, if not billions. And the ROI is there, only if it's done right. Now it's easy to screw that up, but if it's done right, sales and marketing, it shows a phenomenal ROI compared to email campaign. All of you probably did some sort of a MailChimp mail campaign, email campaign of some sort, you know, maybe Constant Contact, even HubSpot campaign. Imagine what the ROI was, because people don't read email, they put it in the junk. They have a AI to sort out the inbound messages and tag your message as a spam. So what was your really return on investment on that email? Well, think about it. 95% will read your message, of course, as long as you don't spam them. And then they're going to respond instantaneously. I mean, it makes sense that you're going to turbocharge your business. So for sales and marketing, it really makes sense. For retail environment, you know, people use it for coupon sign up. Hey, text XYZ to get, you know, free ice cream. You haven't responded to this special event, and it ends on, you know, day after Black Friday. You know, go check your coupon again. It's going to expire. Happy birthday! Have a free meal on us. Hey, there's a meeting. Really, really important presentation tomorrow. Hey, this is a friendly reminder. Or one of our auto dealer customer used it to schedule or reschedule test drives. And they pretty much say, okay, you missed your test drive. Would you like to reschedule and do this, do that? It's all automatically. Now, having given you a lot of the overview of how it's being used, I'm now going to get into a little more technical aspect, and I'm going to run a little quicker because you're all business people. Instead of being bogged down on technical details, I've given you a pretty good business overview. So to wrap up what I've said so far, before I get into technical section, is that when you talk to your client, what are the major benefits you're delivering because of all this great technology and use cases? Revenue, efficiency. One of our clients saved a whole lot of manpower because everything is automated through texting. Automation means the work quality has improved because they don't have to do chores anymore. Everything gets automated. Customers are happier. In that example where I could just send a text and forget about it and let them come back to me instead of being put on hold with the jazz music. And happy employees. We talked about a number of employee communications examples. Employees are happier. I have another grocery chain that does a lot of interesting games through texting with employees. It's as simple as, hey, how many M&Ms is there in the jar in the kitchen? And then whoever is closest wins something. I mean, that could be very, very lighthearted kind of thing, but a lot of companies are using it. So what is the message you're communicating to your clients? Use texting to reach. Texting is the most powerful way to reach your customer. Revenue, efficiency, automation, customer satisfaction, happy employees. And that's the ROI you're going to deliver. Let's talk about technology. I'm going to run through the technology section a little quick because anybody who's really interested in this technology, I'm sure will set up a private demo and answer all of the questions you have because we are proud of it. So I'm going to run through some overview here. Now, years ago, when Trumpia started, at least 10 years ago or longer, I can't remember. It's been a while. We sent simple blast messages, mass messages. Remember, mass message is different than sending Gmail to 100 recipients. By the way, I don't think Gmail will allow you to send more than 100 people at a time. So some people say, hey, why can't I just send text messages to 100 people at a time? Well, hopefully your business is much larger than that. So you do need mass texting. Just like even if you have a Gmail group capability, you're still gonna need MailChimp or HubSpot. So you're still gonna need mass texting capability, even if you have a ways of sending text maybe to 10 people, 100 people. So that's how this industry started. Then we added capability called mobile keyword, autoresponder, appointment reminder, and whatnot and not. And the majority of the competition right now offers all of those basic capabilities. You can't charge money if you don't have those mass texting, keyword, appointment reminders, and maybe voting or surveys. But since then, over the 10-year period of time, we added multi-channel. We actually have very much like email capability like MailChimp. Very nice looking, very, very easy to use. Because I'm going to talk about why it is critical to offer multi-channel capability, not just one solution at a time. We're going to talk about smart targeting. You don't want to spam 20,000 students. You don't want to spam 440,000 grocery customers. You know, one of my employees actually told me last night, his dad is a vegetarian. So imagine a grocery will send them a ribeye special for 4th of July. You know, it's going to turn off that person. But on the other hand, that same dad is a Coke lover. Oh, I'm sorry, it's the other way around. He's a Pepsi lover. He hates Coke, but he literally spends about $500 a month on Pepsi. Now, if a grocery chain were to send something about Pepsi, save a lot of money or some interesting stuff, he would love their relationship. But if the grocery keeps sending him the ribeye special, are you kidding? You're going to turn him off because he hates meat. He's a very, very strict vegetarian. So we added a technology called smart targeting. And then we added a fully automated marketing automation. Now, automation is a relative thing. Some people call having an automatic seat adjustment in your car as automation. Some people say, oh, I could lower my window with a touch of a button. They call it automation. Some people think automatic transmission to be an automation. I'm not talking about that automation. We all know Tesla is a very, it has a higher market cap now than even Toyota. And Tesla only makes 300,000 cars a year. But when one of the reasons why Tesla is so popular is they have full automation. It's autonomous driving. That's the kind of automation you need. So majority of our competition talks about automation as, yeah, we could schedule a message for tomorrow morning. It will send it away even while I'm asleep. Well, it's yeah, fine. It's an automatic seat adjustment. Some people talk about, yeah, we could send an automatic reply, to anybody who texts in. Yeah, but that's just like automatic transmission. Who doesn't? I mean, can you buy a car without automatic windows or automatic transmission? Are you kidding? That's not automation. We're talking about autonomous driving. That's automation. We added that level of automation to texting. And that was the first time in the industry. And then using these technology, we created a platform called lifetime engagement, automated lifetime engagement. So these are the new technologies we added beyond the simple mass texting capability and simple automatic window kind of automation. We truly add the full-scale automation, as if the Marketo and HubSpot invented automation. I mean, those are the true marketing automation. So think of Trumpia as HubSpot or the Marketo of something comparable to those level of automation in the texting market. And that's one of the biggest competitive advantages. There's so many features because you're not gonna outgrow. Remember, it's Trumpia easy to get in, but you're not gonna outgrow this thing because you have so many features and we did not even include in this list. Now, why is targeting so important? Well, messaging without targeting is spam. Just like my, David is my employee. David's dad were to receive a greatest 4th of July barbecue special. That's a spam. But if he gets Pepsi, special, not even Coke special, that is like a great news. He would fall in love with that grocery relationship as opposed to hating the grocery relationship. That's the difference between sending and then targeted sending. And this is very, very important. The other aspect that we pioneered is automation. I said we are comparable to HubSpot or the Marketo level of automation. In fact, our first generation automation is about 5 years old. So we are renewing entirely from ground up. And by the time we introduce that in the mid next year, our automation actually is better than HubSpot, is actually better than Marketo. It's a very, very sophisticated automation. And currently, the current generation of automation looks like this. This is the actual screen. This is not a diagram for marketing. This is actually how you build automation in our current product, which is it's been in the market for a while. Okay. So, but the next generation, full drag and drop, very, 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 very easy to use and very fancy and a lot more capable. So we introduced this true autonomous driving, so to speak, level of automation to texting years ago already. Now, without going into a whole lot of detail, for those who are technically inclined, when competition talks about automation, they're really talking about simple automation like dripping. Time it, send this message, 10 minutes later send this, 2 days later send this. It's really like a timed drip campaign or appointment reminder 24 hours before the event. That's the level of automation that competition is talking about. We are talking about at Trumpia true multivariate segmentation, automated triggers, diverging path, branching, and dynamic outcome. All of these is supported in our level of automation, and it's going to get even better mid next year. We do support API for those who are technically inclined. Some people love using computer system like what's shown on the right-hand side. Most people, though, 99% of the people would rather use a system that looks like the left. But what the programmers use API. We do offer that. We do, in fact, win customers from Twilio because our API is very powerful. We provide a better support at a much better rate. And that there are some features that we have that even Twilio doesn't provide. As you know, Twilio is a very successful SMS provider. I respect them. Nothing wrong with them. Okay. But we do both. I introduced a concept of multi-channel. But why is multi-channel important? I mean, honestly, you could get free use of MailChimp today. You don't have to even pay for it. It's a great product. Nothing wrong with it. In fact, there are some aspects of MailChimp we don't touch because it's not our area. In the area of composing and sending email, we do as good of a job or better than MailChimp. But, they have some other aspects. Okay, fine. So why don't you use a free product that gives more than just email? That's fine. The problem with sending independent email and independent texting is that the contact database is not synchronized. So if JP Morgan changes email address or text numbers or whatever, or his address or his preference, whatever, I mean, the vendor or the sender has to update 2 different databases, go into MailChimp, update it, go to texting software, go to social media software, and they all have to change it. Are you kidding? That's a nightmare and it's doomed to fail. Another reason is that if the campaign is not orchestrated, the left hand doesn't know what right hand is doing. So let's say it's an event RSVP. So the event's coming up, reminders went out on email and texting. I already said I cannot attend. So please give away my seat and don't give me that free steak, because I'm not coming. Well, I already told the vendor, but text message shows up again. Are you coming or not coming? Are you kidding? Do you care about me? The campaign is not coordinated. The left hand doesn't know what right hand is doing. Well, when you combine the capability of MailChimp email service and our level of texting software, it's completely integrated. Same database, we may automatically detect somebody changes something. It's one database. And the other reason is, hey, we're going to stop sending another reminder through email or texting because we already know, because it's all orchestrated campaign. So those are the reasons why multi-channel is important, but really need to use the same vendor for integrated contact database, integrated campaign events. Combined reports, I mean, what would you do if you get one report on email and one report on text campaign? Well, you have to sort of do some Excel spreadsheet on figuring out what the real outcome of your campaign was. Well, why can't you get the combined reporting of how effective your communication is going? Single integrated system saves money, training, and time. If you know how to use one system, chances are you can figure out the other system really easily because it's all combined into one gigantic control panel and the dashboard and all of that. So those are the reasons why integrated multi-channel automation is important, not 2 independent email and SMS system. Okay. Well, I've sort of touched on this before. When people call in, they put me on hold. are they gonna drop my call, transfer me 3 times? You all know that I covered it. Well, a feature called Landline Texting uh, enables customers to text in for customer service, and you get a chat like this on the computer as an agent, call center agent, and then customer service person just answer the different text questions and in a multiple conversation. You don't have to be tied up with the one person on the phone at one time, which is boring for both parties, okay? Unless you talk about COVID or election on the phone, okay? But with the landline texting, you could actually maintain multiple chats with the multiple customers. It's good for everybody. Keeps everybody happy and efficient. Now, let me put all of these things together for a nice demo. This is based on a true story. It's not exactly the same as what's out there, but it is based on a real story, and we embellished a little bit. I'm showing you an integrated demo. Now, you drive down the freeway, you see a sign that says text Vail to 72522. Vail is a mobile keyword. This number 72522 is called short code as opposed to long code. Long code is 10-digit phone number that you and I used to. Short code is a special number if you want to shorten that number. We'll talk about that another time. So text Vail to 72522. So this individual driving by, Andrew, text Vail to the number 72522. That's the whole number. And then our automated system says, oh, thank you. Data rates apply. Welcome. Great deals are coming. Hey, please give me a full name, then I'll give you even better coupon. And then it said, okay, here's my name. Okay, good. I captured it. Our system automatically captures that information, put in the first name field and last name field. This is not just a robot, just sake of chatting. It actually captures the data. And then, oh, hey, let me try another one. Hey, what's your email? Hey, he may or may not respond. Hey, I got the email. This guy's highly qualified. He not only volunteered with a Vail keyword, but he even gave me name and address. Are you kidding? This guy's highly qualified. And then, okay, fine. I promise you I give you a coupon. So I send them a link to a coupon. But just because somebody asked for a coupon, that doesn't mean they spend time in reading it. Well, he skipped it. Well, then I send them an email because I capture the email automatically anyway. There's no working hands behind the scenes. Everything is completely automated. Remember, autonomous driving here, okay? So we automatically send an email, maybe 5 days later, 3 days later. Hey, look at this wonderful picture. This is what you want for your Christmas vacation. Well, he still doesn't respond. And then, well, fine, okay, fine. I'm not gonna bug this guy to death. I'm gonna send yet another reminder that, hey, this promotion is ending. Are you sure? Now this time he was pressured to click. This is called link tracking. When we track if somebody clicked it or not, it's called link tracking. When somebody doesn't respond, we send another one later on based on certain conditions. That's called drip campaign. And then this time, Andrew click on the link third try, and then when he clicks it, we already have his first name, last name, email, and the phone number because we caught the caller ID. So all he has to do is check-in time and check-out time. That's all he has to do. Okay, and then confirmation email will go out. Thank you. Here's your reservation confirmation. And then when Andrew arrives, he said, hey, do you want some ski slope weather forecast every morning? Because that's important, outdoor activity. Yeah, just text ski resort to 72522, same number, and say, the automatic response says, how many nights are you staying? 2 nights. Okay, great. And then every day we send him a weather reminder. We know who to send, who not to send. Don't send this to everybody in the resort. So we do a smart targeting to people for the night they're staying. And we do that only through smart targeting technology. And then we ask them, on the 3rd day, we know the guy is checking out. We already know that. So we automatically send in the midday, hey, how was your experience, great or bad? He says, great. Oh, then we'll say, hey, how likely is that you're going to recommend? Obviously, you don't want to send this message if the experience was bad, but we know it was a great experience. That's why we are sending a message. Hey, our automated workflow says, how likely is that you're going to recommend somebody? He says, very likely. Wow, this guy is highly qualified. He already responded 5 or 6 different points. And not only that, he had a very positive experience with the resort. This is your VIP. And you need to remember this next season too. So we're going to score this guy. It's called context scoring, very highly recorded. rated because he's very responsive, he's engaged, he had a great experience. He not only experience was great, he's going to recommend us to somebody else. Are you kidding? This is a VIP. Okay. If it's in Las Vegas, he's going to get a gold treatment at a special poker table. Okay. That's how you're going to manage this person. But for sake of argument, if the response was bad, Andrew said, no, that was a bad experience. Oh, sorry. Now, you don't want to just put that in the database. Are you kidding? That's bad customer service. What we're going to do is integrate with the phone system, automatically dial out to the supervisor, and the supervisor is ready. We're also going to dial out Andrew at that time through API integration and say, you know, I'm so sorry. You had a bad experience. Is there anything I could do to make up? And the supervisor will get on the phone instantaneously because everything gets captured and tracked even on the Google Sheet. This Google Sheet will reside on the supervisor's monitor all day long. It keeps updating each line. Every time somebody is doing a survey, it's going to give that each line entry. And the supervisor will decide, no, I'm going to call that person right now. Or you could automate it just like the other example where our system can call out through integration. So we call this technology lifecycle engagement process. You do contact collection, you nurture them and filter them, target them, and then you engage them in a meaningful way. And then you do automated follow-up and survey and start triaging them and start scoring them. And then you send them an appropriate response and then even make a phone call. And the whole process gets repeated. We call this entire cycle lifecycle engagement automation process, or LEAP. What it takes to complete this cycle are these dotted line features. If you don't have it, like majority of our competition, you cannot complete the cycle. Yeah, you have an interesting survey. Yeah, you could do mass texting. Yeah, you could do automated replies. Yeah, you could do appointment reminders, but that's it. These are all isolated features at one point in time in any relationship, but they're not all linked from the beginning, from a lead generation, all the way to conversion, all the way to customer satisfaction, all the way to making them brand ambassador. You don't have that opportunity to manage the entire life cycle. Remember, Kroger had 440,000 subscribers. If you start spamming 440,000 messages every week, they're all gonna hate you and unsubscribe. But if you imagine that you could take 440,000 customers through this process and target it and triage them and appropriately handle it by different supervisors and whatnot. Imagine the kind of ROI you're going to get with 440,000 people who's going to read your message within minutes. And that's the power of texting if it's done right. And to make it done right, you need a full automation and full targeting. And that's what majority of our competition is missing. I would say all of them are missing because the level of automation is very simple, linear drip campaign, and that's all they have. Now we do data synchronization, web development, custom report generation. We create some automation triggers. So let's say you have a backend system. It could be a CRM system. It could be an ATS system. It could be another system. We could do custom integration so that if something happens to your CRM, if something happens to your ATS, something happens to your ERP, we could trigger action in our messaging as well, or vice versa. So when you collect Andrew's contact information, that can be stored in your CRM database right away, automatically, because of the integration. Compliance is another very, very important aspect. Texting without compliance is suicide. And I may have 80 employees, not a huge team, pretty tight team, but I almost have 7 people dedicated on compliance. That's how important compliance is at Trumpia. Majority of our competition does not understand the compliance because it's not their problem that customers get sued. Okay, we don't want our customers get into legal trouble. So we watch everything they do. We don't want to do everything for them, but we watch everything they do. We literally review their message every time they send it and stop that message if it's going to cause a problem because previously the stop rate was too high. Maybe the message mentions some prohibited words like, cannabis or a drug or something else. Maybe there are certain things that carriers don't like. We stop that message for them. And we want to make sure all the numbers they send it to are compliant, legitimately opted in. And there are certain rules we follow to be able to make sure that they're not sending to a list that was purchased or borrowed or from another business. You don't want to do that. We are very serious of compliance. Compliance consultation is very, very key part of our service. And we give them a pretty good guidance. We watch everything they do, not because we care to monitor, but because we want to stop them from making mistakes. And no other vendor does that. And we have a white glove service that does a lot of these things. 365 days a week. We are open on Christmas Day, 9-minute response time. Everybody gets onboarding, one-to-one onboarding, webinar training. We get dedicated account manager that understands your business strategy so that we could help you with the leap cycle, lifetime engagement cycle, campaign consultation. We are actually presenting right after this hour in 12 minutes, major grocery chain about our recommendation on how to take their HR, simple HR notification campaign to something much greater. And we are presenting in 12 minutes, by the way. And compliance resources. We have 7 people dedicated on it out of 80 people. That's a lot of people. So let me introduce Andrew. I've taken up a little more time than I wanted. Andrew, go for real examples of some of our customers and how to engage with us at Trumpia.
Definitely. And Ken,
I'm going to stop sharing my slide, okay, which I did.
Great. Thanks for that, Ken. Thanks everyone for hanging tight. We're very respectful of your time. Just some more customer examples. So Costco, they use our system for the lead generation aspect, alluding back to Ken's point about the life cycle. What they do is they have this keyword that's displayed on all the TVs that you come in to see when you first walk into a Costco. When you text in that keyword gives you a recipe. And of course, the recipe calls for buying those Kirkland branded products. And that's total lifetime value of this relationship is upwards of $50,000. HughesNet, similar type of use case, but this is now on a TV commercial. They advertise this keyword fast to 35,000, which is their dedicated shortcode with us. And to date, they have gathered almost 250,000 opt-in leads for anyone who is inquiring about their voice or internet services. And that was a $75,000 total lifetime value for that relationship.
Right, and that relationship value is Trumpia with the customer. Of course, HughesNet's relationship value is millions of dollars. Costco's relationship value with their customer is millions of dollars. I'm talking about how much money we collected from Costco, how much money we collected from HughesNet.
Exactly.
Just on this relationship on the supplier side.
Exactly. Okay. And one thing to note is that PRN, RM Factory, these are actually the agencies that partner with us to get these deals. So I know a number of you people on the call, you may be an agency yourself. So, be encouraged that we know exactly how to handle that space and work with you for deals such as these. Some internal employee examples, Pepsi, they use us for their overtime shift fulfillment. Omni Hotels is what Ken was alluding to in the beginning of the call. When there was that terrible Dallas shooting, Omni Hotels used us for that employee communications. Volvo similarly uses us for emergency alerts. And Chick-fil-A, they use us for their entire franchisee communications. So of all the 500 or 500 to 700 locations of Chick-fil-A in the States, they use us for that franchisee communications. So just as an example, right? It's not just marketing. It's not just for customers. It's also for the internal, for the employees and for other stakeholders that's your clients would basically have interest in, right? In engaging. Now, quickly, right? To just go over how to spot an opportunity. These are some key buzzwords, right? If they need a better way to communicate with customers and employees, that's a trigger for you to bring up Trumpia to them. If they need to automate repetitive chores to save manpower, another trigger. Automated engagement to boost the satisfaction, increase your reviews. If the email is just not cutting it, right? Emails aren't getting read. If emails aren't delivering or inboxing, that's another spot opportunity as well. And of course, if they're already doing texting, but they need it to be better, then that's another buzzword that you can look out for as well. Typical process is to quickly go over it. You can email partner at Mitrum to request for a brainstorming session with our team. And of course, we can provide any of the collateral based on the industry or use case with the client that you're talking about. So once that session is set up, obviously we would want to do some brainstorming before that call so that we have an understanding of their needs and the nature of their business. Then after that point, we would have the discovery call right here. We would really dig into the use case, discover their needs and problems, and identify their goals. And then we would then schedule that demo and proof of concept with the Trumpia team. We're basically showcasing Trumpia and providing that real life application on the platform, a platform overview, and of course, determine the next steps after that point. So this is, really a full cycle service, right, that we're providing for you guys. Of course, from cradle to grave, right? From the moment that you introduce us to the client, if you want our help to sell, if you want our help to prove the value of Trumpia, we're with you guys 100% of the way, all the way through the demo, and of course, post-sale as well. We have the onboarding and the support, account management, and our entire team to support the clients that come on board. Now, just a quick overview of the pricing. This is the partner pricing, and there's the basic to enterprise editions. This is all listed in Vendasta, and this is all showing you, right, at the end of the day, we're very horizontal, right? We have the capacity to handle the small mom and pop shops, the small businesses, all the way up to the enterprises, right? So we are very horizontal and we can service all of those clients. Of course, suggested end user pricing. This is what we suggest right here. Frequently asked questions really quickly. What language is supported? SMS is only English currently. What countries are supported? The US and Canada are supported for full two-way engagement. International messaging is possible, but only one way for outbound. This is a note there on the international messaging. What happens after the sale? Customer success team will reach out to the customer for onboarding. And that's important because the client, we will not activate the product on their business center until that onboarding happens. Really quickly, credits. Credits are basically the electronic currency we use in the system to use the system functions. And probably the last most important question, what are the benefits of going through Vendasta? All the plans coming from the Vendasta editions and marketplace come with onboarding and account management. You have more resources per plan, specifically those automated workflows. And at the end of the day, it is integrated into your consolidated business center application, which your clients are going to appreciate and utilize well. So those are the main highlights of why going through the Vendasta relationship is important. Last slide here, contacting us. You can reach us at partner@mytrum or call us at this line, 415-231-5509. Both of these contacts will actually go to our team. So multiple people will receive these inquiries, and we will always have someone to assist and handle your requests accordingly, to give you the collateral you need, to do the client brainstorming, to have the discovery calls, demos, and at the end of the day, have the onboarding and training and support as well. So I think that's the end of the presentation. Ken, if you were speaking, you're muted there.
Aha, that's right. So, for example, we take our relationship very seriously. Think of us as your assistant. We have an account team that will work under your direction. Here's an example. We have a client, I said 12 minutes ago, 12 minutes after. Right now, only 4 minutes, I have a major presentation with a major grocery chain in East Coast. And to get that ready, we didn't just simply send over collateral. We literally, 5-people team, prepare for that presentation, rehearse a couple of times, up until the last dress rehearsal with me, with one of the employees was 8 p.m. last night. We take this very, very seriously. The kind of proposal and the demo and business recommendation we give is a very high quality advertising agency level. We understand their business objective before we talk about technology and how we're going to implement it. And we also offer, not included in the price, we also offer what we call campaign management. There are clients who have lots of money, they don't have the expertise, they rather use their expertise and time for something else. Well, they rather have us run the whole thing because we know how to do that better. then we offer campaign management service, which is not including the price. There's no way we could do real campaign consulting with a few $100s a month. But we could offer what we call campaign management if they rather have us do everything. And we're perfectly fine. And that's why we're proposing in 2 minutes to a major grocery chain. Thank you so much for your time and attention. I really, really do appreciate that. Thank you for not cutting out of the meeting, because I see most of the people sticking through the end of the session. I hope it was informative. I do want to create a relationship that generates ROI for you. The longer your customer stays with us, you're better off. And we are very conscious of that. And we are extremely conscious about white glove service. You open the door for us, we brainstorm, we'll do everything you want us to do. And after that, we'll keep them happy. Our cancellation rate or renewal rate is awesome. Even during COVID, you know, the new business has slowed down a little bit because obviously COVID season, everybody's suffering from it. But our retention and our renewal business is doing awesome. We make sure our customers kept very, very happy. Thank you so much, Cam, and everybody else. Have a wonderful day in the East Coast in Canada. In California, I still have a 70-degree right here, sunny California here.
Awesome. Thank you, Ken and Andrew, for taking us through that very robust presentation and for, you know, all that information about Trumpia. If you have any more questions after this, they are open to setting up an appointment with them, so you can chat further, or you can use the Contact Us button in their product page in the marketplace. So thanks everyone for attending, and have a good day. Bye.
Thanks everyone. Have a good one.